When the news came that Power Book 2, Ghost was ending, I'll admit it floored me. Since the ending of the original Power, the continued universe has seen much success. Still, being the first and a direct continuation of the original, Power Ghost has probably amassed the greatest popularity. But they say all good things must come to an end, and the end of Ghost has me wondering what happens next for the long-standing franchise. Tariq found himself in a much different position than Ghost did at his age. While Ghost had to work his way up through adulthood, Tariq was born into money and resources, and even when the money dried up, he used so much of what he learned to find new avenues to succeed. Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4 dropped a huge bombshell when it revealed that Michael Ealy's detective Don Carter is majorly corrupt. The revelation came out when he didn't arrest Drew and Monet for stealing Noma's product, but instead gave them a license to kill as many criminals as they wanted provided they didn't take a civilian's life, and that the detective got a 35% cut of their illegal earnings. As Carter delves into murkier waters in Part 2, we can certainly expect more complications and chaos to follow. Meanwhile, Tariq has a lot to process since learning that he is going to be a father. However, he and Diane already have different ideas on how to raise their unborn child. While she wants to see Tariq out of the game for good, he is convinced that he needs to commit himself fully to that lifestyle in order to provide for their child. Part 2 will likely explore that dynamic further, so expect a lot of friction from these two. Speaking of tense relationships, Noma, Davis, and Kane are entangled in a dangerous love triangle that's bound to get one of them killed. The question is who? Tariq St Patrick's, Michael Rainey Jr., mission to free himself from his father's shadow and rise to apex predator status is already in play in Power Book 2, Ghost Season 4 Part 1. The crime drama series has delivered on twists and turns we've come to expect, and then some, as he looks to build his own empire. So, now that we know there's more of Tariq and co. to come, here's everything we know about when exactly Ghost will be back on our screens. Power Book 2, Ghost Season 4 Part 2 will arrive on September 6th following the show's mid-season break. The release date scheduled through September will be as follows.
Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4 tackles several significant story points from the preceding chapter. The Tejada family, its internal strife, and the drug enterprises that threaten to bring everyone down are also explored in greater detail in this season. Vowing to make the street safer, Carter traded in his tie for a Kevlar vest and now leads an elite NYPD drug task force that elicits concrete results against drug-related violence. Michael Ealy's detective Don Carter was made public when Power Book 2, Ghost was renewed for a fourth season by Starz. Carter and his NYPD task force are a major part of the plot. While his achievements are noteworthy public recognition, nothing can bring back his lost love. Although two of the most well-liked spin-offs of the Power series are coming to an end, the recently announced program has me much more thrilled. The Power franchise is officially 10 years old. Variety reports that Starz is formally working on a prequel titled Ghost and Tommy, which will give the two main characters in the franchise a more in-depth past. It seems sense that Power wants to explore further with their most popular characters considering how well-liked the two are, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. Thankfully, with the cancellation of Power Book, Ghost and Force, the news of their prequel has arrived just in time. Tommy stayed a part of the franchise through Power Book 4, Force, which has been confirmed for Season 3, even though Ghost left the show in Power's last season. Fans of Power Book 2 Ghost Season 4 have been eagerly awaiting the return of the show ever since the 5th episode aired earlier this month. Sadly, they will have to wait a little bit longer. Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3 featured an incredibly talented and diverse cast of actors who bring the show's characters to life with their outstanding performances. At the center of the cast is Michael Rainey Jr. as Tariq St Patrick, the show's protagonist and the son of the notorious drug lord, James Ghost St Patrick. Naturi Naughton also stars as Tasha St Patrick, Tariq's mother, who is currently serving time in prison for her involvement in her husband's criminal empire. Other key cast members include Shane Johnson as Cooper Sachs, the former prosecutor who is now working for the criminal defense attorney, Davis McLean, played by Cliff "Method Man" Smith. Johnny Paulo stars as Brayden Weston, Tariq's best friend and business partner in the drug trade. And Larenz Tate returns as Councilman Tate, who is determined to use Tariq's criminal empire to further his own political ambitions. The talented actors of Power Book 2, Ghost are sure to bring their A-game to the upcoming season, delivering performances that will keep viewers on the edge of their seats. So be sure to tune in and see what new stars will be joining the cast for this thrilling crime drama.
Fans of Power Book 2 have been eagerly awaiting the return of the show ever since the 5th episode aired earlier this month. Sadly, they will have to wait a little bit longer. This is due to the fact that the show's 4th and final season is now taking a mid-season break, with the second half of the season scheduled to premiere later this year. When those episodes do premiere, it will mark a significant turning point for the Power franchise as the first spin-off and the original series sequel approach what promises to be an exciting, high-stakes finale. The show has followed a new cast of characters led by Tariq St Patrick, Michael Rainey Jr., the son of notorious drug dealer Ghost, Omari Hardwick, as he has followed in his father's footsteps, entering the drug game. Catherine Busby, president of programming for Stars, called the final season explosive and a fitting crescendo in a decade of an immensely popular franchise. Thankfully for fans of the franchise, it is still set to continue on, with Book 3, Raising Kanan, and Book 4, Force both moving into new seasons and a new prequel series called Origins on the way. But when is the next episode in the final season of Ghost set to land? Read on for everything you need to know about the release schedule for Power Book 2, Ghost Season 4. Season 4 Episode 6. Tariq is front and center in Power Book 2, Ghost Season 4, Episode 5, Ego Death, as his fatherhood issues come to light. The mid-season finale features Tariq contemplating his future with his potential family with Diana and what would happen if his drug trade fails. A clash between Brandon and Tariq happened, but the two friends and business partners eventually made amends. After realizing that he needs to step up, Tariq tells Diana that he is ready to start a family with her, but the caveat is he would do so while also maintaining his drug game to protect their child. The episode ends with Diana shutting down that idea. Part 2 of the final season is expected to address the ramifications of Tariq and Diana's falling out and whether Tariq will choose family over his fledgling business empire. Elsewhere, the revelation that Earl, the lead singer of a hip-hop group at Stansfield, is aware of Brayden and Tariq's illegal side business could potentially lead to problems down the line. Noma is also out for blood after learning that Tariq gave her daughter, Anya, some coke. The only constant seems to be Tariq's growing number of enemies, which does not bode well for the show's protagonist. The official synopsis for Power Book 2, Ghost Season 4 says, in light of Season 3's explosive finale, it's Tariq St Patrick and Brayden Weston against the world. With new alliances formed in each faction, Tariq and Brayden must find a way back into the game and a way to insulate themselves from ever being put in the same situation again. But when Brayden starts flirting with a new, reckless lifestyle, Tariq wonders if there really is room for two at the top. Monet may have finally met her maker, but she has no idea who's behind it. Davis, suspended and pending disbarment in the wake of his brother's death, fully embraces the criminal side of his enterprise and finds himself working for both sides, his loyalty dependent on whichever will benefit him most. Faced with the reality that life can end in just a few ways, Effie buckles down on getting out and securing a legit future at Stanford. After last season's betrayal, Diana and Drew question their roles in the game and the family business, while Kane sees an opportunity to level up when he starts working for Noma. As Noma fights to establish her business in the States, she also tries to keep a close eye on her bratty daughter, Anya, who is now on Tariq and Brayden's radar. With the fate of his future in the game and his family at the forefront, Tariq must reconcile his past to rise to the top of the food chain and become who he needs to be to protect those he loves most. Season 4 Episode 6. Tariq is front and center in Power Book 2, Ghost Season 4, Episode 5, Ego Death, as his fatherhood issues come to light. The mid-season finale features Tariq contemplating his future with his potential family with Diana and what would happen if his drug trade fails. A clash between Brandon and Tariq happened, but the two friends and business partners eventually made amends. After realizing that he needs to step up, Tariq tells Diana that he is ready to start a family with her, but the caveat is he would do so while also maintaining his drug game to protect their child. The episode ends with Diana shutting down that idea. Part 2 of the final season is expected to address the ramifications of Tariq and Diana's falling out and whether Tariq will choose family over his fledgling business empire. Elsewhere, the revelation that Earl, the lead singer of a hip-hop group at Stansfield, is aware of Brayden and Tariq's illegal side business could potentially lead to problems down the line. Noma is also out for blood after learning that Tariq gave her daughter, Anya, some coke. The only constant seems to be Tariq's growing number of enemies, which does not bode well for the show's protagonist.